Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here today. It's hard not to be happy when you have this wonderful, effervescent, exciting Lauren book with us today. It's just, I'm just so proud. I've worked with her for many years and just really begged her to please come to our office and let us kick off this part of her walks and her rallies. And she's blessed us with coming here today, and I'm just, like I said, I just can't tell you how excited I am.
I'm really excited to be here today, not just because my walk is done for the day, but because Carol Jean has been somebody who's very, very special to me and taught me, as I wrote in her book, to kick butt and take names. And so I've learned a lot of that from you. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be here today. Not just, today, but I get to be in your lobby all the time because you guys put all of our wonderful brochures out there, which really just educate the population. You talked about the walk, and when we started the walk, the most important thing to remember is that 95% of sexual abuse is preventable with education and awareness. And we can prevent these crimes from going on, and we can prevent children from having to suffer long-term abuse as I did. For those of you who don't know my story, I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse from the time that I was 11 years old until I was 16 at the hands of my female nanny. It went on 365 days a year, 7 days a week. There was no breaks, there was no time off. I am lucky to have a supportive family, but my mom was bipolar. She didn't have the capacity to care for me, my sister, and my brother. And having that void of that mother figure in my life meant, as a child, I was constantly trying to fill that void. Children only need two things: love and consistency. And I didn't have either of those things. And when you're searching for that, somebody comes into a home and can really take advantage of that. And that's what the nanny did. Aside from the sexual abuse, there was physical abuse and emotional abuse. And a lot of people don't understand how it could have gone on for as long as it did. But the reality was, I would have traded the 1 hour or the half an hour of abuse that I got every day for the 23 hours of love. And that's what we need people to understand, that these kids just need help bridging that gap, and we need to be there for them. And so from that horrible, awful, tragic experience, my dad and I decided and made the decision that it was important that we focus on child sexual abuse and make it different. So we took all of those negative experiences and worked to make those positive. And that's really where Lauren's Kids was born. And 4 years ago, when we decided to start walking the state, it was about that education and awareness and how we could make a difference. And from that time, we now have our Safer, Smarter Kids curriculum in every single kindergarten throughout the state of Florida, in VPK centers. We've distributed over 16,000 kits. And we've been on the walk so far in several kindergarten classrooms. And so if you'll indulge me before we move on in the program, I'd like to ask you guys to go back to kindergarten. Okay, we're going to do one of our little activities that we do with the kindergartners. I'm going to ask you to think about, what does a stranger look like to you? Okay, and what is that stranger doing? And so now I'm going to have you open your eyes and we'll shout it out and we'll talk it through. So, is that stranger a man or a woman? Man. Okay, is it a tall man or a short man? Tall. Does this tall man have neat hair or does he have messy hair? Messy. Okay, what kind of nose did he have? What kind of nose? Like a big nose, maybe with like a wart. The kids oftentimes say boogers in the nose. I don't know what that's really about. And then we ask, what kind of mouth did this stranger have? What kind of mouth? I see scary mouth, like people making these kinds of faces, right? And what did this stranger, what kind of clothes was he wearing? Neat clothes or messy clothes? Messy clothes. He looked like a hobo, the kids would say. And then we ask, what did this stranger have in his hands, or what was he doing? What else? Candy. What else? Shout them out. Puppies. What else? Video games. What else? Well, these kids are a knife, that's right, a gun, a knife, a sword, a bag of money. And so everywhere I go throughout the state of Florida, throughout the country when I've done this, and even internationally, it's the same drawing. And the reality is, kids are looking for something that doesn't exist. 90% of the time, children are abused by someone they know, they love, and they trust. These individuals are in these children's lives every single day. And we don't model, don't talk to strangers. And the reality is, strangers are just people we don't know well. And that's what we need to teach our kids. We need to teach them to look for behaviors that make them feel unsafe, icky, or confused, and how to access help. And that's what Safer, Smarter Kids is. That's what Lawrence Kids is about. In our pilot testing year, we've showed a 77% gain in personal safety and knowledge amongst these kids. And so I'm proud to be able to stand here today, not only speaking about prevention, but hope, healing, and recovery through the walk, and being able to connect with centers throughout the state of Florida and letting people know what's out there for them. That services are available free of charge at any point in your healing journey. It's available. And as I got to sit with Carol Jean before we started today, I got another idea about a piece of legislation that I won't even talk about right now, because I'll get myself into trouble. But one of the things we're working on this year is victimless prosecution. Last year, we, along with the legislature, made Florida the only truly mandatory reporting state in this country. And that means that it's your responsibility, my responsibility, it's all of our responsibilities to report suspected child abuse to the DCF hotline. And we're asking all Floridians to take the pledge, to pledge our eyes and our voice to protect our children. Because not only is it our moral obligation, it's our legal obligation.